Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was the final consecutive streaming day of this week, but it's only Tuesday. That's right, today is Tuesday, the 27th of February, 2024, but this is a different kind of week because we've got a ginormous hype new release coming out this Thursday in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I want to be here for it. So because of that, I changed my streaming week to make it only a 5-day shorter week. So I will not be here tomorrow, but I'll be back on Thursday. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about what we did today. What a great streaming day today was. First of all, on today's Level 1 podcast, we talked about various different things, including the adjustment of my microphone to now sound a little bit better. But now I have to kind of adjust the gameplay audio on the fly because all my games need to be different levels now to be in sync with the louder mic. We talked about game news. Multiple pieces of game news today. Sadly, Sony layoffs, which really sucks, and other things. We chilled, we hung out, we had fun discussion. It was a great podcast overall. And then we swung into more Baldur's Gate 3. The final Baldur's Gate 3 stream of this crazy 2 to 2.5 month run that I've been doing, having this be the major featured stream for most of the time. Now it takes a back seat to Final Fantasy. I'll still play it, but only once a week. Okay? So what did we do in Baldur's Gate 3 today? We explored, which is pretty much exactly what you do every time you play Baldur's Gate 3. This time we're actually in Baldur's Gate, and we went into these barracks. We found this way to go into the sewer system. Down in the sewers, we fought multiple followers of Baal. Basically unlocked several different quests down there and got legs of quests done that we don't even have the quests yet, but I think we found the things we need to complete the quest when we actually run into them. Notably, one of our party members was kidnapped by Orin, and we know who it is now. Remember, we had been told the stream before there was a doppelganger in our midst, a faker. Well, now we know who the faker is, and now the plot has really picked up. It's like, now you have to choose. Are you going to side with Orin? Are you going to side with the other guy? Like, who do you want to take out, essentially, in order to try to get to the end of the game? And we have to make our decision, okay? Anyway, all that happening, then we went back out of the sewers, back to the surface. We went to this whole nautical area, like the docks of Baldur's Gate, and there's this whole other plot line with a funeral going on, and now we're in a warehouse full of oil and stuff. Just crazy stuff, like tons of stuff we keep stumbling upon. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? Had a great time, a great audience, and I just want to say to everyone who followed this Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough for the last 2.5 months, thank you. Whether you were there live for the streams, whether you were on demand watching after the fact, whether you supported the streams or maybe you did contribute in another way, thank you for that, all right? Really, Baldur's Gate 3 kept the channel going at a time when a lot of other games were disappointing or they just didn't catch on. Like, I wish Tekken 8 caught on more than it has. I love it, but it just didn't. I wish that Like a Dragon would be more popular, but it really never is, right? So for me, Baldur's Gate 3 is the game that has been keeping stuff going here on the channel for 2.5 months, and I had a great time with it. But man, now it is time to scale it back with Final Fantasy VII being so hyped, so in demand, and the big release for a while. And I got to play the heck out of it because I got to try to get through it this month before all these other new releases hit around the 3rd week of March, right? So I really got to play a lot of it in a short period of time. But don't worry, Baldur's Gate 3 will continue just at a much more casualized pace, which I think is a good thing. Do you want to know why? When I started playing Baldur's Gate 3, it was some of the most views I'd gotten in months on anything. The views on the streams were huge. The views on the on-demand videos were giant. And then what happened was, we got 10 hours in. We got 20 hours in. We got 30 hours in. We got 40 hours in. We got 50. And once you get that much into any game, all the viewership trails off. Why? Because not everyone has time to watch that much in a short period of time. I guarantee you there's many of you out there who are probably watching my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, and you're in the early parts, right? You're going to get through it eventually. You're excited to get to hour 100, but you're just not there yet. So over time, more people will get caught up and be more excited. Maybe you'll actually eventually tune into a Baldur's Gate 3 stream when you're caught up with the playthrough on demand now, right? Since I'm only playing it once a week, it's 3 hours a week. We still got like 30 more hours to go. We could potentially be playing this for months. So yeah, I see it like this is an opportunity for those of you watching on demand. Now get caught up. There isn't Baldur's Gate 3 4 or 5 times a week anymore, so you can get caught up on demand, and then hopefully by the time you get caught up, you can come to the daily or the weekly streams that we're going to be doing, okay? Anyway, great Baldur's Gate stream today, and then tonight, it was Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, And a great stream, a ginormous chunk of big story development happened. A huge thing happened that was really positive and fun and awesome. New party building, new jobs, new good stuff. Going off, doing more side questing. Even had a little bit of extra time at the end. So went back to the optional dungeon and actually grinded for a little bit and got some good rewards there. So all in all, a great night of Like a Dragon. Had a great time again. And a great way to end this streaming week. A little short, but it still was a great solid day. Okay? I have an update on some other things. DSP Throwback. This morning, you may have noticed that even though every day there's a new part of the Heavy Rain playthrough, and there still will be for another couple days, I think it's actually continuing all the way through Thursday. You may have noticed there was no other gameplay today, and you're probably wondering, there was no Final Fantasy, there was no Red Dead. What happened? My editors have run into a little bit of a snag. They were doing some upscaling, and something happened, and it basically didn't finish, so they didn't have a video for today. But they're going to continue to work on that. And it looks like there will be a new video for tomorrow. I'm hoping this isn't an ongoing thing. If it is, it's not a huge deal if every once in a while there's a delay in a video. Let's be honest here. Those videos, I mean, now we're like part 30-something for Final Fantasy 13. We're reaching almost part 30 in Red Dead. People are not watching them actively and going crazy for them anymore. It's like 100 views a day, right? It's not a lot. So it's not the end of the world, but at the same time, I know some of you have been following, and you may be wondering what happened today. That's what happened. There should be a new video tomorrow, and I'm hoping to stay consistent moving forward, but I'll let you know if it won't be, okay? All right, I am not here tomorrow. I am off to do my errands and the like. I certainly hope that you have a safe and fun day, and I hope you guys are gearing up, because Final Fantasy Mania begins this Thursday. Now, I have a big update. I talked about this on the podcast this morning. I'm going to update my schedule tonight when I post it on X and when I post it on my community tab of this channel, but I want everyone to know I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth all day this coming Thursday, February 29th, but my first stream is changing the time. Normally, I would have my stream start around 10:45 a.m. The podcast would begin around 11:15, and it would run till around 12:45, and then gameplay starts at 1 p.m. No, we're doing it an hour earlier on Thursday, okay? So that means the stream will probably turn on around 9:45 a.m. The podcast will begin around 10:15 a.m., and the actual gameplay will begin around noonish Pacific time. There'll still be 3 hours of gameplay on that premiere stream, but it's going to be an hour earlier. I now have to end that stream an hour earlier, all right? But the late stream on Thursday will be the same usual time, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, and we'll do at least 2.5 hours of gameplay on that stream. So all in all, even though the time's shifting around for that first stream, we should get a minimum of 5 hours, if not a little more gameplay, in on the premiere day of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, the rest of the week, there's going to be tons of Final Fantasy. It's the daytime stream on Friday paired with Tekken 8 at the late stream. It's the daytime stream on Saturday paired with Like a Dragon on the late stream. Sunday, we're taking a break to do all React content. So you'll still have DSP versus the Internet on DSP Reacts and another retro React throwback stream on DSP Throwback, which you're still voting on, but it looks like it's going to be Heavy Rain again. Monday will be more Final Fantasy VII. Tuesday, more Final Fantasy VII. The only day this week we're not doing it, essentially, is the React day. And then Wednesday of next week, okay? Not this week, but next week, I'm going to be doing Baldur's Gate 3. What I'm going to do is every week, the last day of the week, I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3. So that way there is that fix for those who love the Baldur's Gate playthrough to get a little bit of content every single week. But for the most part, I mean, every day we're doing Final Fantasy. It's going to be 17 hours of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth this week. I'm very excited to get that much into the game to start. I hope you will join me for the journey. All right? Everyone, thank you so much. A great February. I mean, there is technically one more streaming day in February on Thursday, but when I come back, this setup will be different. I'm going to change it all out now, so it'll be new and fresh and different for when I return on Thursday for Final Fantasy. I wish you all the best. Be safe, and I will see you for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Mania when I get back. Thank you all. Peace out. Have a good night. See you later, and so long.